the crack of a lighter, and the bubbles in a spoon.
You get an entire body rush when you do it.
The high of shooting up on heroin.
It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where it'd be the good half saying, well, this is a bad thing, don't do it, and the other half being like, well, you need it, you gotta do it.
Tony Ransley spent 9 months as an addict.
Eventually it was, I need this to feel normal. I'm not even hardly getting high anymore because I need to feel normal.
Clean for 2 years, the 21-year-old now talks about the withdrawals that kept him using.
I get a headache, nauseous, body aches, cold sweats, can't sleep, can't eat, can't drink, diarrhea, a whole 9 yards. It's not fun.
You talk to anybody in the emergency rooms and they will tell you that is the most urgent health problem that we have right now.
Heroin use is on the rise, and Madison Police Captain Joe Balla says Tony fits the profile of heroin users in Dane County. Most are between 18 and 24, likely to be white, more women than men.
It affects all types of families, both from the upper income and lower income.
It's an expensive addiction, no doubt about it.
In Tony's case, $150 a day. Narcotic and Gang Task Force member Lieutenant Brian Ackert says addicts will do anything to support the habit.
A lot of it is property crimes, thefts from autos, burglaries, thefts. There's financial crimes, forgery, forged checks, credit card fraud.
But what's most concerning to law enforcement is the increased number of people dying from heroin overdoses, like a 24-year-old woman 2 weeks ago.
We got the call too late to revive her, and she's gone.
The Madison Fire Department is being called to more overdoses each year, not only from heroin, but the prescription painkillers that almost always provide the gateway. In 2007, paramedics gave Narcan injections, a drug that can reverse an overdose, 149 times. By 2010, it climbed to 256. Some of those were accidental or legitimate medical concerns, but the numbers support the heroin trend, including that the biggest group receiving Narcan are between 20 and 29 years old.
There's too much loss of life starting to happen now, and it's got to change.
Tony's wake-up call came when a family member found out and threatened to tell his parents. So he told them himself.
I remember looking at their faces and just being like, I'm gonna break their hearts.
Rehab, he says, was like a breath of fresh air, a second chance at a life he almost gave up on.
It was about, I want to say, a year into being clean that I realized that there are other fun things to do outside of drugs. I can go out and I can watch a movie for once and not pass out in the middle of it. I can ride my bike. I can do anything I want to.
My name is Matt Endress. I'm currently a 5th year studying mechanical engineering, and I play trumpet. So this will be my 5th year in the University of Wisconsin Marching Band. Basically, I was born with 2 fingers on both hands, and then one of my elbows doesn't work. I never had any reservations about that. I just was mostly worried that I wasn't good enough to make it. Never really thought that because of my hands it would have held me back from making it at all. Bridge Week, well, it does get its name Hell Week for a reason.
Let's go!
Get back in shape, work off the summer fat that they build up.
When I saw him do it the first time, I thought, boy, I don't know that he can do all of the things that we ask the students to do on the field and maintain his alignment and do all the things that are necessary and still play. But he said, he assured me that he could, and over a period of time, I was just, I'm just really quite inspired by what he does in playing.
There you go!
Just like everyone else, just got to work through the pain, not let it get to you, and realize that this all pays off once you take that first step inside Camp Randall Stadium.
The band has some very high standards for each other. I mean, we hold the instrument a certain way, we carry our bodies a certain way, and there's a feeling that we might have to give in a little bit, and I think that would not be the best kind of morale for the band. Fortunately, Matt didn't do any of that. He did all of the things that we ask everybody else to do the same way.
So I was born with 3 fingers on my left hand and 2 fingers on my right hand, and then I have 2 toes on each foot. Well, my name is Abigail Nettle Owen, and I'm a junior, and I play trombone in the marching band. I've never worked this hard in my life, mentally or physically, and my first year was probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
I think people saw she wanted it. She wanted to do it on our terms, and she wanted to be the best she could be. And that's really what we're about. And so I hope it made her feel very much at home right away.
The things that really stuck out for me being a member of this band is that the first day people didn't judge me at all here, and that was something new for me. They expect the same level of intensity from each and every person, doesn't matter who you are.
Step close, up, up.
You hear about people who have any kind of disability at all saying that they can do what other people do. I think this is something that everybody should look at and say, yeah, we can do things like that. We don't have to be held back by something just because we don't happen to have the same abilities that other people do have.
But at this point, it's more pure excitement for the season, knowing what's coming. A little sadness knowing that it's my last time. But unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, so just going to have to deal with that and realize there's always Alumni Band Day.
Child abuse cuts deep. The pain can be locked away for years, resurfacing in troubling ways. That was starting to happen to 6-year-old Ian Santiago.
He was scared about staying in his room by himself.
Last year, Lulu Santiago noticed something was wrong with her son.
Just like very sad and very like, I asked him too many times, Ian, what happened in the school and how was the school? And he was just like, good, I don't know.
It was through his school that Santiago found out the truth.
I was like, oh my God, I just couldn't believe.
She was devastated. Someone close to Ian abused him when he was just 5 years old. Santiago doesn't want to share the details, fearing Ian's progress would be affected.
The first time when I came here, I felt like, oh my God, what's this?
But she was determined to help her son heal, accepting a referral to the Rainbow Project in Madison.
So many of the kids we see have lost ownership of their own bodies, and a lot of times it's happened because someone or something in their life has directly assaulted their body.
For 30 years, the counseling clinic has served children 10 and under, most experiencing early childhood trauma.
I truly believe that they have the ability to heal within, and that they have the spirit that it takes to do that.
Child and family psychotherapist Jenny Bisworm uses a combination of movement and yoga therapy to help abuse survivors heal.
And breathe real slow.
Ian's weekly sessions start slow and simple.
Breathe in, belly up. Out, belly down.
Belly breathing reduces muscle tension and blood pressure.
My mom is here. She's a safe person. I'm safe in my body.
It helps calm the body.
That also allows them to then be able to explore some of the trauma from a place that's calm.
The hour-long session continues outside.
And we're going to breathe in and put our arms up to the sky.
With yoga tree poses,
grabbing all the sun's happy energy.
And one of Ian's favorite poses.
We're gonna make our legs wide.
The warrior.
2 more deep breaths.
Back inside,
Can you close your eyes already?
Santiago joins in the therapy.
Could you imagine? It's a really warm day.
While the approach isn't for all children, Buzzworm says it works well with some like Ian.
Kids will come in and be so proud to share with me that they didn't get into an altercation at school because they used their breaths.
How does that feel?
Cool, happy.
Happiness found, a sign Ian Santiago, like many other children, is turning his pain into inner peace.
Sounds tell stories. Whether it's through music.
And one of my coworkers said I looked like a bingo card, and somehow I managed to be bingo ever since.
Or using our own voices. Sounds share things that are unique.
The original surgery was 9 years ago this month.
And the story behind Bill Heidt's sound is about as unique as it can get.
This is a 2011 Chevy Impala.
Bill sells cars, and his voice,
these are all Silverados,
can be a deal breaker, which is why he imagined big trouble when it started going away.
He had a vocal cord cancer on the right side. He had a successful operation with one of my partners to remove that.
And after the surgery, my voice wasn't the same as it was before the surgery. I was basically down to a whisper, which makes it real difficult to communicate, particularly in sales.
To understand what was happening, it's important to understand how your vocal cords work. Your cords, made up of flexible tissue, work much like a piano string. Vibration causes sound, and because in Bill's case, part of his vocal cords had to be removed, his sound nearly disappeared.
Vocal cords like to be symmetric, smooth, slippery, straight, and they like to be able to close when they vibrate completely. Touch, open, touch, open, touch, open. When they can't, you get a leaky valve. When you get a leaky valve, you get a breathy voice. When you get a breathy voice, you get vocal effort, fatigue, trouble projecting.
Hey doc, hey, what happened? Hey, I want to talk to you.
Okay, very inefficient. And here are your two vocal folds, and this is his defect in here.
Dr. Seth Daly from UW Hospital had the answer Bill was looking for. Dr. Daly invented a procedure which, in essence, adds an implant to the damaged vocal cord so the vocal cords fit more tightly together when they're closed. Eventually, it gets rid of that breathy, strained voice.
It's a crew cab.
Bill was the third person in the world to ever have Dr. Daly's procedure.
I could tell he had enough confidence that I really didn't worry about it.
It's been a year since Bill's surgery, and when his voice returned, he still struggles, but he says the journey is getting easier, all thanks to the man who brought back his sound. Sounds tell stories, and Bill says he can't wait for his next chapter.
I still think it's improving, yeah. I think I'm probably better now than I was 6 months ago.